Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with a final hot take. I'm gonna let Little Joan down. She does not want to be in videos today. Um, so much is going on. If you're not following the New York Post now, you really should be. Expect more Hunter Biden stuff to drop. Not much today on that front, except that you may or may not know Adam Schiff, the guy in Congress who thinks he knows everything. The only guy probably more hated than Nancy Pelosi. Um, he keeps implying, "Oh, this is all Russian disinformation." Right. So let me walk you through it. Hunter took his laptop to be repaired. He spilled beer on it or whatever. The guy who took the laptop has confirmed that Hunter went to his place of business twice. Once to drop off the laptop, and I think the second time was to give him a part that he needed to fix it, and he never came back. So at some point, I guess he checked out the information after he tried to contact him and fix the computer, and saw these things that were incriminating. And a lot of times you have to save the files. So he probably looked at the files while he was transferring them. And it's his computer anyway, because when you don't pick something up at a repair shop by a certain time, the repair shop keeps it as payment for the repairs they did. So now you might say that still could be a Russian op where they plant the info on this computer and then send it to this guy, maybe a guy who claimed to be Hunter, who kind of looked like him. That's a stretch. I don't think that happened now, mainly because now that it's come out that the guy specifically recognized Hunter. I think he said that Hunter was drunk or seemed drunk, which would explain why he never came back for it. Maybe he forgot where he took it. But apparently this guy was afraid because he's in Delaware and the Bidens are a very powerful family there. So he eventually took the information and sent it to the FBI. I guess they didn't do anything with it. So then he went to Rudy Giuliani. And look, he's probably a Trump supporter, but either way you slice it, I mean, it's a fairly credible story and hardly misinformation. Now, Twitter's trying to contend, well, it's hacked information, and therefore, we don't support hacked information, which is a lot of bull in my view. So, but it wasn't hacked. See, it hacked. You have to break into somebody's computer. No one had to break into Hunter's computer. He essentially gave it to the repairman, who then gave it to Rudy Giuliani. The next thing that happened was once Rudy made it clear that he had this in his possession, Hunter's lawyer apparently contacted Rudy and asked for the computer back because it was his property. That was kind of a dead giveaway that it was legitimate, at least the ownership of the laptop. And then today, or maybe it was yesterday, one of the, there's a bunch of emails on this, all about his various trips. And, well, this is all they've revealed because they're slow rolling this, right? First off, there's pictures of Hunter smoking what looks like maybe crack or meth. And then there's this email saying that this was on like a Chinese business trip, that H would have to get 20 and he would hold 10 for the big guy or something like that. So they're divvying up something via these low numbers, which probably mean much higher numbers. And these emails were going to the various business contacts of Hunter Biden. Well, one of the business contacts has come forward and said, yes, these emails are legit. I know these emails. I got these emails. H stands for Hunter, and the big guy stands for Joe Biden. That's pretty much game, set, match. I mean, pretty much it looks like Hunter Biden was selling his dad's influence, and that, Biden seemingly is in on it. Seemingly, he's getting a cut of this. And someone pointed out he went from making a few $100,000 as the vice president and being worth, I guess, less than $1 million. The year he got out, within 7 months, he was almost at $17 million. So it's extremely suspicious, to say the least, and it seems confirmed. Now, Schiff comes out and says, oh, no, this is all Russian disinformation. Well, the director of national intelligence, Ratcliffe, came out and said, no, it isn't. We have no intelligence that suggests that. We haven't shared any with Congress regarding that. And basically, Adam Schiff's just spitting into the wind here. Probably to just muddy the waters a little bit so people go, oh, yeah, I knew Biden was innocent. But this is a very serious situation. Now, look, if you believe the old adage, they're all corrupt, they all do that. Okay. How much do you think it would cost to buy off Trump? I bet it'd be a hell of a lot more money than $16 million. That's like pocket money for Trump. Trump's worth $3.2 billion. He's got like $400 million in mortgages, $17 million. That's a rounding error for him. He pays that much in taxes. So, or should. So, if you're going to have a guy bribed, you want him to get pretty high amount of money so he doesn't get bribed all the time. If Biden can be bribed for a few million, well, he just needs to set up a Biden foundation like the Clintons and suck up all the money he can, right? And doing it this way, it's very old school in my book. I mean, he's got his son running around on his behest, cutting these deals, scooping up the money and keeping it in the family. So, and let's be honest, Hunter Biden doesn't seem exactly like the kind of stand-up guy you'd want to trust with millions of dollars. No offense, Biden's, but the man clearly has some issues here with substances. That's the last guy you want to be in charge of money. What if he had taken the money and transferred it to a Swiss bank account and then lost the number? That can happen. You don't have that number, you ain't getting your money out of the Swiss bank. Oh, no. So, so the scandal is big, and it's just beginning. This was the tip of the iceberg. This was the first revelation, and Biden's gone back to his basement. Yeah, what was the expression? We're going to put a lid. Not put a lid. It was like, we're going to call a lid or something. They're off the campaign trail until Thursday. Why? It's a couple of weeks before the election. You can't be off the campaign trail unless you don't want to answer questions. And it's not like they're going to stop asking questions now, although they hope that's the case. And quite frankly, the media is so beholden and behind Biden that a lot of them won't answer and didn't ask him questions. But I think he's only making it worse. So it just allows people to rampantly speculate. And they've got more to drop. So could this be the final moment where the Biden campaign collapses and H.A. Goodman's prediction comes true and Hillary Clinton becomes the nominee? I'm back on board with that a little bit. I think that could be a very big possibility. This got to really hurt Biden's chances, despite the fact you've got a lot of early voting and they're saying, oh, Democrats are ahead in early voting. That doesn't matter. We're talking about a few thousand votes. We still have millions and millions and millions of people to go. And most of that mail-in ballot BS is all in Democratic states. Biden was going to win mostly anyway. And because of all the errors you get with mail-in ballots, even if you do everything above board, you lose ballots. People fill them out wrong. They're just lost or damaged. Like, you could fill it out perfectly well if in transit, the ballot is so damaged that they can't tell whether or not it was open or sealed properly. They got to toss it. And they will toss it because they got millions to count. So they get to your ballot and it's all crunched up because it got caught in the machine or got caught between two bindles or was just on top and got water splashed on it. Out in the trash it goes. Bye-bye, vote. Bye-bye. And no, they're not going to contact you and say, oh, who did you vote for? Can you come down here and vote again? No, that goes into the trash and on they go with the counting. So you're talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe a couple of million votes will just go right in the trash. And there's going to be cheating. So, we've already found Trump votes in a ditch somewhere in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure they'll be finding Biden votes until the sun cools. So this isn't good. But the upshot is that seems like a pretty solid October surprise. So, hopefully Trump will win by such a wide margin. That's what I'm predicting. He's just gonna crush it in every area. They're just gonna look at the votes and they're gonna just go throw up their hands and go, well, we can't steal this. We steal this, they'll burn everything down, unless that's the goal. I mean, that might be the goal, to drive people to the brink and drive us all into a civil war. I mean, maybe the Chinese are running this behind the scenes. Maybe this has been their game all along. I kind of think that the Chinese are definitely in this mix. I mean, there's certainly, AG Barr just indicted 8 people involved in a money laundering scam to get foreign money to the Democrats. And none of the Democrats are indicted yet, but they probably won't be, because they're all rich and powerful, and amongst the list is Hillary Clinton and Adam Schiff, who took money from these donors who were essentially laundering foreign donations through their PAC or whatever it was. So that's 8 people. So grind them under, Barr. Grind those guys under, because we can't get the real culprits. We want to send a very strong message to the people who tried to do this shenanigans behind the scenes, that we're not going to tolerate it. And that if you get caught, man, oh, it's bad. It's real bad. You're going to jail for a long time. That's what we need. Unfortunately, you're talking about the people in power who make the laws, who are doing the very thing that you're trying to prevent. So it's a tough call. I got a lot of confidence in Barr in that area. I'm a little disappointed he hasn't come out with more charges for various things, but there seems to be a plan here, and things are rolling out at a pace. I think the stuff in Silicon Valley has kind of gone on the back burner, which is kind of a mistake in my view, because those computer nerds can still do a lot of damage. But maybe the bigger picture is that the Silicon Valley guys they don't really believe they can influence it that much at this point. Everybody's pretty polarized. Yes, they were instrumental in polarizing the electorate, but maybe actually swaying votes, maybe not. I mean, look at this New York Post article. I mean, Twitter's getting demolished over it. Jack Dorsey, who, in my view, has just made dumb move after dumb move after dumb move. But he seems to just absorb it and move on. I don't know how these guys aren't losing money. I'm waiting for the hammer to drop on them to say, hey, no more. Twitter, you're now a publisher, and let the lawsuits fly. I mean, if anybody should have their 230 protections removed, it should be Twitter. They're censoring everybody at this point. I mean, they've censored the president of the United States. They shouldn't have that power. They should not have that power to censor if they're a platform. Now, if they're a publisher, they can censor whoever they want. They can censor everybody if they want. I don't care. But it's not a private platform. You don't pay for it. It's free. And although I'm not sure that's a distinction, but they're protected under 230, the 230 provisions, and cannot really be sued for what goes on their platform. So why should they be allowed to edit it? Doesn't make any sense to me. So this election, I can't wait for it to be over. I really can't. Just want to see it done, behind us. Hopefully Trump's going to win. I'm pretty confident it's going to be a red tidal wave, but you got to get out there and vote. Don't forget to vote. Don't rest on your laurels. I've been told that in New Jersey, we can go to the polling place, but it's going to be paper anyway. I don't know if that's true. Somebody in my comment section confirm that or deny that. I have to do some research into that. I thought the machines would be there, but it turns out, that's going to be a nightmare. Standing in line and waiting for people to fill out their paper ballot and stuff it in the envelope. Might as well fill out the one I got here and just drop it off. If that's the case, that's what I'm probably going to do. What's the point? I might as well fill it out and just go up to the mailbox. So it's not, if that's the case. But a lot of people I know haven't even gotten their ballots yet. So be prepared. Be prepared. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans. And keep watching the skies. And by skies, I mean, watch out for any shenanigans in the voting area. You see people with a ballot box or a truck or whatever, you start videotaping. Don't wait. Videotape it and figure out what the hell's going on. Because they're going to dump votes. They're going to be dumping votes in a lot of places. And you got to watch your mailmen. You got to watch everybody. So until this election is over, stay paranoid.